Surprise, I'm still alive. The other surprise is I bought a cue. Weird, I know. To be fair, I did make a video a week ago, trying to kind of stay no more than 1 week between videos. And I made a video last Saturday, and it was awesome, and I had sound effects and all kinds of shit in it. And I even posted it. And right after I posted it, I realized it was 100% bullshit. So I took it down before anybody saw it, I think. It was almost like if I posted a 30-minute video about how cool it is that grass is purple. And then I realized, wait a minute, it's not purple. Kind of what happened. We're not going to get into that anymore. So I got a cue, and when I first post this video, it's not going to say what the cue is. It'll be a mystery, you know. And then after a few days, I'll change it. I've got an official cutting utensil here, so I can try to open this thing up and hopefully not amputate my own arm while I'm doing it, because I don't have a handle on this guy. This cue I purchased from Facebook, and it was shipped from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am about 2 hours south of Indianapolis, Indiana, near Louisville, Kentucky. It was shipped on Thursday from Indianapolis. This cue, the first place that it went was Cleveland, Ohio. I got a text from USPS, who I hate, that it was in Cleveland. Like, well, that doesn't do me any good at all. Then I got a text that said, okay, now it's in Louisville, Kentucky. Cool. Then I got a text that said, now it's in Indianapolis, Indiana again. Not really sure what that was all about. It forgot its keys or something, so it had to go back and get it. I don't know. Then I got a text that said, well, it's back in Louisville. And then I got a text that said it's out for delivery, and that's what this is. So, triangle box in a tube. So, I have intentions of doing, look Kitty, big box to play with, of doing a video about different like classifications of cues for me. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to talk about it a little bit while I'm doing this. It says fragile, which is a true statement. I don't know if I'm going to do a video about classifications because it's really subjective. But what I'm going to talk about right here is bucket list. I have a bucket list of cues that I've kind of always wanted, and some of them I've managed to pick up, and some of them I haven't. This is a bucket list cue for me. Just for kicks, while I'm opening this up, my bucket list, I think any cue collector is going to have Balabushka on their bucket list. Yeah, don't have one of those. But I have Tim Scruggs listed, and I have one of those, by God. I have Josh West listed, and I actually owned one of those briefly. It was way too ostentatious for me, and I sold it and bought some other cues. This was right before Derby. Look, kitty, cat toy. I have a Richard Black on my bucket list, and I have both Gus and Barry Zamboni on my bucket list. Gina Q, sure, what the hell, and Southwest, and I have a Southwest. The other one that I have, kitty cat toy, on my bucket list is this one. And I didn't have one until now, and now I do, and I have never seen it, just pictures. It's going to be used, but from the pictures make it look like it's in absolutely fantastic condition. And I bought it from a guy I kind of half-assed know, at least I met him, and I know where to find him. Not that I would ever do that. Alright, so now we get the bubble wrap. I'm kind of excited about this, but anybody that's been watching me for any length of time if they remember my last Q unboxing, I was pretty disappointed because it had a lot of flaws and, you know, finish scratches and gouges and stuff that nobody had told. The guy hadn't told me about before he sold it to me. That was the Joey Chin Q. So I'm trying a little bit to temper my enthusiasm a little bit, just in case this thing comes out in really bad shape. I do not expect that to happen. I actually asked the seller, hey, is there anything wrong with it that's not in the pictures? And he's like, no. And he said, no, it was on the internet, so you got to believe that, right? The internet would never be wrong. I'm trying to get all this opened up so that the camera sees it at the same time I do. That's always the plan. With the bubble wrap, it makes it a little bit trickier. And then I'm going to have to cut more bubble wrap off. I should just call my channel the Cutting Off Bubble Wrap channel. That would be unique, if not exciting. Alright, so now we're going to do this. I'm not looking, I'm just unwrapping. I can feel a couple of cues, which is cool because it came with a couple of cues, or a couple of shafts, I mean. And then we'll just do this, and then I'll, still not looking. I'm going to take a shaft and put it down here. I'm going to take another shaft and put it down here. And I'm holding the butt, but I'm still not looking. And I'm going to show you at the same time I get to see it. So, ta-da! So there's that. And can you read that? I don't know if you can or not. I don't know if it's going to focus. That says Tascarella. This is a Tascarella Q. And as I said, this has been on my bucket list for a long time. I have Balabushka on my bucket list, and the next best thing in that realm is going to be Tascarella. He has all of George's old stuff. So, you know, it's fairly plain, which is, you know, I like fairly plain Qs. I would consider this Q to be a player Q, not like a monster Q, whatever. If I ever do the video with different categories, I mean, they're all just my terms. But, you know, Sneaky Pete, you know, Merry Widow, you have a player, you have just a regular Q, you have a monster Q, whatever. I would consider this a good player, a lower end regular Q. This just as far as, you know, intricacy and all that goes, it's a Tascarella. So by a lot of people's definitions, this is a monster Q anyway. You know, a Tascarella Sneaky Pete might be a monster Q to some people if they're really just going by price and stuff like that. So, and I knew this from the pictures. The only thing that I'm not super thrilled about this is that's brown. That will get changed because a brown bumper to me, I don't know, it just looks like absolute something else is brown is what it looks like. But yeah, so Tascarella, this is Q37 or 8 or something like that. I got two shafts. I'm looking at the pictures. It looked to me, well, it's just tapped wood. And when I went to like Tascarella's website, most of the Qs that he had seemed to me to be like a piloted metal joint, kind of like a Sean or something like that, and also with the stainless steel joint. That seemed a little bit unusual. The previous owner, or one of the previous owners, marked one of the shafts with these lines. I don't know what that means. This means he liked this shaft best, or he liked it least, whatever. But anyway, what I was going to say was in the pictures, it looked like one of these shafts had a ferrule that was thicker than down here. Like this was thick, and then it got skinny, and then it got thick again. And to me, that tells me that somebody got overly aggressive with the sandpaper at one point. This was like a standard, normal Pro Taper shaft. This must be the one. This is the one without those lines. That it really does feel like it gets a little bit skinnier right here, and then comes out. I'm not saying this is good or bad or whatever. I'm just pretty sure the manufacturer, Pete Tascarella, didn't make it like that on purpose. This shaft is definitely dirtier than the other one. So the one with the lines is a cleaner shaft than the one without the lines and the one with the fairly or slightly odd shape. To my mind, the fact that this is dirtier means it was probably the main shaft of one of the previous owners. And of course I'm going to make my own determination on that, which one is better, whatever. This cue, just like my Rundy Shawn that I got, whenever I got that, February, this is going to have a pretty decent shot at unseating my Southwest as being my main cue. And I'm going to give it, a fair shake. I'm going to shoot with this cue exclusively for a week and just kind of see, does it warrant some further testing? Is there absolutely no way that it's going to unseat the Southwest? Or heck, even maybe, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be my new daily driver. We'll find out. So anybody that's watching my other unboxings also knows that I like to do ceremonial first shots. These are just superstitions on my part. And so that's what I'm going to do now. I don't try to do anything fancy. All I want to do with my ceremonial first shots is just make the ball. All right, so I'm pretty sure that these shafts are the originals to the cue, and everything lines up and all that. So I guess the guy said this had been refinished. I don't remember if he said it had been rewrapped since it was first made. I don't know how old it is or anything. I mean, I just don't. I know what little information I have was that a guy had it as early as like 2005. It was it's at least that old. And not that I really super care, but it is interesting. And I figure at some point, as much as it sucks, I'm probably going to die. And that means that one of my sisters is going to have to deal with all these damn pool cues that I have. And I would like them to know a little bit about what they have, and so they don't go to the pawn shop and sell this for $5 or some crap like that. That would make me mad. Both of these shafts need tips, and that's another topic that I have to do a video on. To me, these tips are non-existent. I like a thicker tip. And I know that statement probably lost me some fans, if I even had any. But I do like a thicker tip than most people. So this is going to be my ceremonial first shot. This cue is light. I haven't weighed it. I've got a scale that I haven't weighed. It's less than 19 though. And I got that from the description that I read on Facebook. It is a light cue. I'll have to find out, can I put a weight bolt in, whatever. Because I like them at least over 19. This feels fairly insubstantial in my hand. So ceremonial first shot number 1. Okay, good. So I made that. I would have to throw this shaft in the trash or throw the whole cue in the trash. It's just superstition. I would never really do that. But nor have I ever missed any of my ceremonial first shots. You know, there's always a first time for everything. So this is the other shaft. This is the one that has those lines drawn in it. It's a little bit cleaner, and it seems to be just more of a regular pro taper as opposed to the other one, which had a little bit of Coke bottle stuff going on. Yeah, this one also matches up just fine. I kind of wish a little bit that this had a stainless steel joint. And I think that's just an aesthetics thing. I'm not saying that that's going to play better. I think it's just, you know, something that I know that I like better is the stainless steel joint. I like the looks of it better, I should say, not necessarily the playability. How my Southwest doesn't have a stainless steel joint. I love the way that one plays, but it doesn't have white; it's black. So, Ceremonial first shot number 2. Yay, made that 2. All right. So while I was screwing all this together, I did notice something, and this is not nearly going to bother me nearly as much as the Joey Chin. But it is, you know, a flaw, and this is a used cue. What it's got, you're not going to be able to see this, but underneath here, there is like a scratch in the finish. I can feel it with my finger right here. And apparently whatever happened carried up. And I'm going to have to rotate this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but pretty much right under my finger in the black, there's a visible little scratch. So it looks to me like something must have hit the cue or whatever about here and carried up. But I can even feel a little bit in the white. The rest of it feels just fine. Down here's just fine. Everything looks fine. The only thing I can see from looking is the thing in the black that I was telling you about. Even down here, I can't see anything. It just looks a little bit, or just feels a little bit off. Of course, sharp points, pretty darn even. You expect all this stuff with a Tascarella. You know, I do. You know, this is the first one I've ever seen in my life, I believe. And so, yeah, so I'm excited. I'm going to have to play with this, like I said, for like a week. And I'll try to figure out which of the shafts is going to be my, the main shaft that goes with this cue. I'm going to have to put a tip on both of them. All right, so looking at this, I'm just documenting shit now. Nobody really cares about this. So this is the shaft with these lines. If I go back up here to the ferrule, I don't know if these are ivory ferrules or not. And I don't know if you can see anything, but there's just a little nick in the ferrule right up next to the tip. Might be able to clean that out, might not be able to clean that out. And on the other shaft, which does not have these lines and is a little bit more dirty, but has just a slightly, the ferrule is definitely thicker than the wood on this shaft, definitely. And I can even see it just like this. This may have been the guy's main shaft because it's dirtier. It's actually got the same thing happening. It's got a little thing at that end of the tip, or the ferrule right next to the tip. Just a little teeny tiny black thing. These are the kind of reasons that I don't like tips that are this thin. Because I'm always afraid I'm going to do something to my ferrule with a tip that's too thin. One of the reasons. I have other reasons. But we're going to put this together. We're going to shoot with it for quite a while. See how it stacks up to my Southwest and all that. And then, make a decision. I'm also going to replace this bumper because it's brown. If I don't have a replacement for it, maybe I'll just try like a black Sharpie and make it black. I just want it to be black. And then maybe I'll see what kind of weight bolt, if anything, is in here. And I have some weight bolts, and I can put one in there. Just add a little bit of weight, you know, half an ounce or something. It's kind of what it sounds like, seems like to me. But that's what's up with that. As soon as I find my remote, I'm going to, where in the hell is my remote? Oh, it's right here, duh. I gotta take pictures for Facebook and all that crap, and I'm gonna try to put out a video or two to make up for the one that I put out last week that ended up being bullshit. Anyway, thanks guys. Bye.